resumed. We are stopped off this afternoon. Any comments on the head? I'm going by my earlier, not instructions, not directive, but perhaps thinking, can we go on page by page and refer to that? If I call the question. Page 48. Thank you, Honourable Member for Small Malaita.
Small question normal or Mr. Law 47, but then one small question normal.
Yeah.
For Minister, I may assure him House normal that I may explain him that you may expect him stock selling from what multilaterals, law grants and also. We understand them that graduation blow from LDC, when so I think next year or 2027, the amount of or the proportions loan grants and loans, you mean by no garam that fella some right for at the moment, because you meet the term selling from what multilaterals here we are termed as LDC, so what the loans or the bar generous conditions, and usually the grant component law support law with the institutions here and we high. But once we graduate also from an LDC, then all the proportions either go down or diminish. We like for Minister Hemi tell him no more come what now situation belong with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair of House Committee. Yes, I think as part of our smooth transition strategy, the point raised is also covered in our strategy, especially the preferential treatment that you may source of benefit from with the current status. Definitely, once we graduate, we might lose that. That's part of the strategy that some negotiation also now discussed with our partners that sort of by affected on those areas, so that the transition timing, that's one area that by we sort of working through, especially to prepare ourselves, so that I'm not clear cut no more, but also the time taken. In terms of the borrowing, especially at the moment, this is one of the areas that we assessed recently by IMF, World Bank, and we no longer access to grant due to debt distress from moderate to low now, so a minimum. Much low better position on that one, so we should not continue to access that. But then it's something that we ourselves sort of like we are punished for the good thing we doing over time in terms of how we're trying our best to make sure we are sort of sitting on the rate that sort of which is we may forgone a lot too. Anyway, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This was a matter we raised with the Ministry in terms of borrowing planning. So Minister Hemi said that you may casing 27% debt to GDP ratio. This one I am not static, yeah? I mean, TINA is going to come on stream law early 2029. It's going to have an impact on GDP, so it should expand them more ability blow you me. Same with him, auto road there, contribution of GDP. No fright him. This is all borrowing here. As long as it's productive, as long as it's going to expand the GDP, by go over time, maybe by me go lower here. As well as borrowing overall, by me go lower. But the important in the assessments that contribution to GDP clear, and we're on track to meet it. So the question is, target borrowing where we take and finish, we've got 27% here. Which of those are now contributing? What the impact is on the GDP? Because it sounds like no any impact it. Low borrowing you take and go ahead for go up no more, but this fella's space borrowing space here keep narrowing down. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable. Any further comments, Honourable Minister?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that important recommendation. That's the kind of an encouragement that government is really welcoming. That big, especially Minister Law Fishery, but push too much for that one. Yeah, that see, you mean how no, I mean no, but I think the strategy in terms of how we are reviewing our national pipeline, especially infrastructure pipeline, which that will form the main priorities that we borrow mainly for key infrastructure or key economic infrastructure that will help us in terms of how we, although it may increase him, but in terms of helping him too over time in terms of the growth of GDP. In terms of drawdown, especially for how much of it, I think something that I may not provide him now, because we are working on that. Because as part of our 3 years plan of the independence strategy of which the government is also working on it to see how we may plan for the next 3 years. That's also part of that, which is we are working on that. So that's one thing that I may not really give him a detail or some say. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaysia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very happy that Minister Hemi Talem, we are actually, well, we are still LDC, but we're already working towards preparing ourselves to be LDC or graduate from being an LDC. But I think it's very important, some of these things, the investments that we're making now. This is why lo tok blo mi bar support aviation and MID and fisheries and agriculture. So Minister, me ask him you more, can you receive them selling from agriculture and fisheries? That one by we must stop him. No, make him that one. And like leader of opposition Talemia, you know, right, no borrowing. Mr. Chairman, me just look him our grading long or the lowest or the lowest debt indebted countries in the world. We are among the 20th. In fact, we are 17th. So you write loan for what year? Take him selling, put him low right something no more. Can't go make him look at the wrong something no good. So sir, me go back to this graduation, have good one, yeah, but prepare good for him. This is why the investments have to be made now, and where you may to talk about low-hanging fruit. So fisheries, tourism, agriculture, and also. Me support him no more because you like him for me, will encourage him, so I'm not me encouraging you. Yeah? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, chair law house committee and my tabu for encouraging me. Yeah, I think that's really the direction that the government is taking. Yeah. That we really want to borrow direct for key infrastructure. Kind of the practice sometimes generally borrow for budget support. It means not like for encouraging. Minister Law Health, but still raw waiting me. Two years also think for no straight law recommendation law chair of PAC. Me also like for a little bit stop them too because you may also borrow for social sector, which is that encouragement that leader law person also like for encouraging government too for must borrow for social sector too, which in fact needs very important agent number 2. Yeah, but I think the target that the government is taking mainly to focus on key economic infrastructure, so that it may not generalize him no more through budget support, but target them law. Look, when I place here, and this one kind of awesome. It's the idea too, it may like for as part of our preparation. Yeah. At least provinces feeling that, oh, something awesome happened, you know, that road law here, or airport law here, or bridge law here, or something else. Of course, law productive and resource sector. Thank you, Chair.
The Honourable Minister, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, sir. I think you can do both. You know, Friday. Of course, you must invest, borrow to invest in productive infrastructure, good quality infrastructure. But good quality infrastructure without a healthy workforce, a healthy society, may require investment. Yeah. And you can't get a productive workforce without, bringing the education system up to standard in terms of infrastructure investment. So no looking at health and education, social and productive. No more. They are social but very productive. They're big components of the GDP. So no frighting. And then when you look at all the borrowings up to now, by you looking which ones are going to come off in terms of they beginning their contribution, that leaves space. So they're paying for themselves, plus adding to GDP, lowering the cost of electricity, leads to a little bit more expanded investment. All these calculations go in. This for 35% GDP, debt to GDP ratio here. Means why you will bow down or something here, man. Unnecessarily hold me to vicious circle of poverty in this country. We remain poor as a country because you bow down on this for 35% here. So that's why this whole rating where small Malay say, true, yeah? We have been very conservative to our own disadvantage. So at this rate, if that's what we're going to do, it'll take us 100 years to get anywhere, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, want to comment?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, the Leader of our Opposition. That's something that the government is, in fact, if you around from my debate law bill, the space for next year is around 1 billion. In fact, there's still for immigration because if we compare origin, we still also bara compare with him. Even Fiji is more than everyone. Fiji is more than 70% than other. So almost everyone not above 50%. You mean more like the threshold of the 35%, and then up to now you may reach him 27. So yes, I think the clear. The review of national pipeline in the government with here for come law cabinet with them. That's what especially Ministry responsible, Ministry of National Planning, am doing now, reviewing now the national pipeline, so they help him me for which ones now you may target them, and that's something that the government is keen especially for the next 3 years here, for people like me, for really see transformative, especially the infrastructure sector. And so, yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further comments? Honourable MP for East Harare.
Thank you, Chair. In fact, World Bank, LDC, what Bara recognizing. So when you talk about LDC law, Washington DC, what the money say, what now LDC? Yeah, and no more something what aware. They are aware about things like low income countries, low to medium to high income categories below World Bank. Now, ministers have a good number. This one and yourself, Chair. So I think there's space here, but I think with the advocacy that what the small countries have been doing over the years, there's now a category that access him good now, IDA. So IDA, I think you follow no name IDA, but International Development Association. I think everyone know financial side no yourself, Chair. IDA one fella facility within the World Bank where people have grants too, yeah. People for Wakalo grants, and they're looking at small states. And here I think we qualify under what is called the Small States Exemption, SSE, Minister by himself here. So I think these are opportunities for me. I think you must work with them, World Bank or something. How many must visit in World Bank all a little bit. No go no more got the fall meetings and the spring meetings, yeah. You must go a little bit stuck at time, yeah. For looking more at no knock door, sit down, story. What the money waiting you know there. You mean no more, I think need for doing part with me. So this all SSE, yeah, hembara, make one fella. I would call them either only borrowing too, yeah. One fella category like that. We have garam special concessional rate for UMI countries that will be less than 1.5 million in population. So UMI bara definitely qualify. No matter UMI graduate from LDC, him no affect them now. This fella status blame inside the World Bank. So there's definitely space for UMI for really get into there. We just have to be organized there. Government side, policy here. You've got to come out clear with the policy law how now if you will access him either. No name either name no girl too, but minimum access him now this for International Development Association. Where we've been accessing over the years since independence come, I think that's the case there, but there's been a very concentrated movement to small states. I'm not a column, SSE, small states exemptions. So I think there's definitely space there for us to look at that and work on the grants. What are people for grants here? What they had a normal good story, and then what I support. I was going to ask Noma in terms of this one with them, the other institutions like the EIB, whether we have been working with them as well. Important for me reach out go to Europe for local EIB. EIB stand for Europe Investment Bank. Story with them Mogotalo there. Me just come back from Europe. Mogota comes story with me, but me no care many. Me also man about too. Me no care many powerful story good with them Mogota, but they are looking for opportunities here, colleagues. Jinat, reach out Logota. Just while being there, hey, if I go story with them Mogota, but something else. They're very much keen to be involved. So there's definitely space for me for reach out to them. Policy no matter, I think it's important in terms of where now you mean by look here. I would discourage definitely bilateral borrowing, because I think for that one, yeah, the concession rate is not too much a concession, yeah? Whereas with international multilateral institutions, you definitely get concessional rates for borrowing, blaming, and that is why it comes back to what I raised also in terms of the debate that one of our new development partners, we seem to be borrowing a lot from now. Year over year, increased by 140% of borrowing to China from last year to this year. That's a concern for some of us when we have those other options. Let them stop for us to explore them, which definitely it's more transparent and not the rates below time, definitely low interest rates. So we can definitely work on that and leave with the bilateral a little bit because their rates, I'm not sure. One rates are higher than the other, kind of same. But these are policy issues that I would encourage the government to look at. But if EIB in one place is going to look at them, because what how the story come, yeah, what no heard too much about from you, but they're open. So these are policy issues for government to look into. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for East Harare. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. And, I thank my brother for East Harare and Chair of Foreign Relations Committee for that important observation in terms of how we deal with our partner, especially our multilateral. And I think, for answer that already we work closely with number of them, which is, and we secure around 200 million US. A bit of information about that one, like member law East Harare may touch it. Law EIB may already secure with a grant of 20 million, and I think that the yet to respond is me say for putum na lobina, and so the yet for respond, but level assessment not come to him recently. Lobina think that Bina might take him 2 to 3 years. Not like for spend him quick time. That's the reaction that give him. AIB is also around 20 million US. OPEC have me 80 million, something that me thank the Honorable Prime Minister for that, for leading the team that we went to Dubai and talked to OPEC and so, like I mentioned, around envelope of 200 million US available, which is the priorities. You know, government look like review now because in our preparation for graduation, of course, and of our timing for 2028 50th anniversary. The challenge sometimes we face, which is probably because that's one of the concern government guarantee too, which is by need better negotiation in terms of the lesson you may learn from the Tina Hydro, especially we also find that sometimes additional financing or variation lot projects or most of the funding go to much low overhead costs, and sometimes I'm here a big but host country. I think the better research done earlier, not only but across the country, most of the funding sometimes 30% of it, no more host countries have benefit them, but most that's some challenges that we also work to improve on those areas, and also learning from the Tina Hydro. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Chairman, PAC.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, good night. You may spend a little bit time helping Minister of Finance to explore options. How now, Baba, you may fill him in the gap here that you may get for next year. You may not worry too much about the expenditure inside the ministry. Let's find a way how now for helping you. I suggest next time you go to World Bank, you put him a label, we want to borrow. Yeah, then you move around now into the corridor of the World Bank. I'm ready to borrow. And now what you should tell him that, because I think we are ready to borrow, emotionally. Like everyone encouraging me for doing that. Let's look out for better concessional financing, yeah, to do it. But of course, you must keep him thinking, blowing me in a balance too, as we are pushing ourselves to demand for expenditure, what not by him supplying for repaying going forward into the future, it must be at the back of our mind too. Me remember me before me tell him come no just for you me Baraba, you said man straight we borrow, then we didn't repay the Asian Development Bank. ADB put him red flag straight, you know. we were raided together was in Afghanistan. That was some 30 years ago, or some 25 years ago. That one, you must avoid it. We have to avoid it. That's why Mila Kamek law issue about all the extractive industries playing with this time, because they are the ones that are going to boost our ability to be able to market ourselves outside. All the extractive industries playing. Now that we are moving into mining, let's remind ourselves of all this thinking that has been going around for some time. That even all the least developed countries, in other parts of the world have fallen into that pit. The resource case theory. So, me very happy to maslo you, Minister, that you have pulled up your socks and then get us back into the EITI, so that you may avoid me going down that track, the Dutch disease, resource rich, but we found ourselves at the bottom of the pit. That one, we have to be careful there. And I think we need to put a strong position to balance that with the fact that, now is a time that you may demand him now, that expenditure, to be able to, or that kind of development financing, to be able to prepare ourselves going forward into the future. But we have to present a good case to them. Suppose you may just go on, we want to borrow, we are ready to borrow. They know who we are. Everyone is sabe lo yumi, EIB sabe lo yumi, World Bank sabe lo yumi, ADB sabe lo yumi. They know our weakness. So what something was saying, you need for put our guards on. And me happy that next year you are really challenging yourself to increase income tax, lower the companies and other entities. And in my reading of that 1 year, most are the mining companies. Mostly by come out from mining companies. Some 46% of our projection here for that growth next year would be in the mineral sector. But Minister Mines him need for a little bit, control a little bit. No issue about too much stuck about the license here. I think that one you may need for a little bit think seriously, PM. Stop him at GDL. Yeah, because I don't think we are getting anything good out for them there. Amazon, what gold dealers license here, or 12 mining license play you. Now you need for protecting more good. Let's work very hard to protect their operation. Now what we should gear up our resources to protect them. I'm not nothing but we need for them. By next year we should be all right. We noted that the Gold Ridge have yet to submit him feasibility blow him 2 years for next year. So there one in a little bit making me worry the projection here. Because Minister, I think him just come back 2 years from overseas, so I'm not teaching him now for approve na feasibility blow him. Feasibility blow Gold Ridge. So you better push him. Otherwise, Gold Ridge will never be up and running by middle of next year, possibly the second part of next year. Then we will lose all those revenue projections that we are targeting here, might not be there next year. And that will really worsen him more the challenge we may current next year. Say. So, and also all the some institutions that you may talk about, EIB for instance, yeah. Make sure Minister you go kasem lo EIB, or a little bit put him caveat lo you me red list him a little bit lo DBSI before. We borrowed from DBSI, then everyone here. Now, I think anyone lo loan lo DBSI before? You will not down him DBSI, yeah. Yeah. You will not down in DBSI, so you will down in DBSI before no go borrow more DBSI, we will down in go more. So that's EIB, but I think let's allow this the whole exercise that is going on right now to review the actual structure of our GDP. because I think we have missed some period of, really mapping out now, yeah? So maybe GDP blooming go up a little bit. So once it go up, that will bring up a little bit space for the quality, borrowing options blow government. But I think we need to be cautioned that you may doing responsibly. Let's do it responsibly. And I think we have a good team lawyer, Jinat. Me will lo this idea, but me will watching me will no more, and then tell me will please no doing that one year, no same. So time me will back come me will cross me will too. Say. So when I look at the situation when law, me a little bit encourage law or projection law minister make sure that we hit the target law next year. I think we will do very well law your projections along or the other sectors that you have chose. The choices that you make him, I think him good. But that one no more. Remember, this is a whole phenomenon law resource case. Really, I must say. Countries that felt or think that they have that British endowment, the side of natural resources, most of them found themselves right at the bottom of the pit. I must say. Simply because you Michel Abatou make him the choice, Lord, a very lousy policy that ended up like that. I must say. So, my own self no more, me tell him, Osem, stop him GDL, out him. Or the gold diesel license here, protect him gold reach, protect him first time what one name, lo Isabella, or then you need for ensure that we are you may safeguarding more the investment, stop him more man like go inside here. Minister of Foreign Affairs himself, because he has been working very hard, to try to clean him up to situation where so many people are trying to intrude, get him subleased and all of that. I think you may need to stop them and then protect him, not just one investor in chat law there. I think we should be able to. That's my contribution, normal side law this one. So, Minister, you may go ahead and borrow, but I think on the supply side, more investment you may need him. I'm saying, yeah? Because that might borrowed money, buy him no stay, nothing like that. Because even though him built into good assets for the country, that asset here must in some way link him better investment for grown income inside the country too. I must say. So that one I think you need to. People everyone tell him all good things here, and I join all those good discussions with all of them. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and also thank the Chair, Law, PAC for those very encouraging and enlightening that you sort of encouraging the government in terms of some way forward in terms of investment and of course our fiscal balance strategy too. Chair, that's important in terms of I think for assuring the committee. Me really confident there, of course, the risk and in terms, but one for confident that me sort of base lahem because if you see the difference law of the allocation and the targets that me sort of put to me for this year, definitely as already some minister lot sector say highlighted, you may almost reach him. That's one. Two, the baseline the revised one also sort of giving the encouragement too that I'm no biggie too much here. So that's a kind of in fact some of the important issues around the risks that for they can note and especially see the way forward to deal with him important and especially law mining sector. And that's something that the government is also looking in terms of, as I mentioned, law, working closely with ministry responsible, the review of the mining agreements, yeah, and that also with gold. It's I think something that the member for Rolhem, Concern Rolhem, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs have always also put on law government, and so that's something that we also seriously look Rolhem. Of course, Chair, there is important for government to make sure, but I'm really encouraged that with the targets, and of course with some of the indication law revised budget, sort of giving more encouraging law, especially at revenues. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Los hydro mineral prices, commodity prices, we get mixed signals along with this one, but generally we are not on top of it. Central bank not on top of it, finance not on top of it too. Yeah? And so there is work that needs to be done there to make sure we're getting fair income price for the minerals, where it must be indexed to some transparent published exchange or commodity price exchange or something also. The other aspect with regards to mineral pricing, and we've learned this the hard way so far, is that trivial price here. There's a break-even price, then there's a reasonable profit margin price, and then there's a windfall. And so we should be clear when they're submitting their proposal, Ogeta must indicate in what now, break even. Yeah. So, and then we expect them to make profits after that. And a reasonable margin for that particular sector, maybe 50-60% profit margin on top of it is reasonable in many countries, and 30% no. But then anything above that, just windfall now. And that windfall, by him no longer stop law normal tax rate here. That windfall, some countries have half straight now, half law that windfall, Golo government, half Golo company. Some fella the other way around, more Golo government, 45% Golo company also. But we need clear policy to safeguard the mineral sector. If no more, we are going to go into the problem where you may look into logging for so many years. But on the evidence of it is we are unprepared. Central bank government say we are unprepared. Finance ministry come up here, we are unprepared. And when we were dealing with the minerals bill, the first part law in Korea, the mines ministry too, unprepared and lacking capacity. Now they have 15% of the capacity they need to be able to give the kind of credible information that would then enable finance to do the pricing work. So we have much work to do here. If no more, one of them happened this time, it's probably more loss than gain here. So then it comes to the proposition of sovereign wealth fund. When the minerals bill may come and finance appeared, and we asked them whether they have considered a sovereign wealth fund, they said no. But now we're happy that Minister announcing. So there's obviously a change in the policy, and it's a very good policy. But me hearing you a little bit explaining how by him happen, by him a little bit helping budget, no, that's not the purpose of a sovereign wealth fund. It's for future generations to be benefiting from it, so we need to ring fence it. But anyway, you bring legislation for you to set them up properly, and then let's have a good dialogue over that. But it shouldn't be just another avenue or tool for you to put on cash, then cash support them come budget. It should be a tool to invest in the future for future generations. So that's will be an important ongoing conversation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that important. Yes, we do acknowledge, especially I think this is area of challenge that we face in comparison with the private sector. I think the bill, the mineral resource bill, that's one thing that government is prioritizing as well. In fact, after tabling and then by first quarter, this is also a priority to look at, because as leader Hemi through, this is one area, especially in the mining sector, that we really need to and in fact, it seems that some of these things behind and the need for properly regulate him and of course prioritize. Already we also seek technical support, especially from IMF, to sort of helping this. That's one thing that lack him to the expertise and lot areas here. So we already seek support on that, and they also respond positively to help us in terms of technical assistance to deal with this. And so, yes, as part of that too, with regards to the idea of government exploring the sovereign wealth fund, that's also part of that one. Especially, we also seek support to help government to sort of exploring that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any other comments on the report and the recommendations by the PSC? The Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, sir. Just a question, number Minister's response in relation to the question of the sovereign wealth fund. Me thinking also you are a bit more advanced than when you just telling me, Minister, like legislation and ready and policy ready and legislation ready. Please, you assure him House first time. Is that the case or not yet?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and me, I would like to thank him, Tabu Blomi Moyes, for that question. I think I'm here to bring paper especially for cabinet, but already initial discussion and seeking technical assistance, we already get the support. As in relation to EITI, already EU also confirming their support to willing to assist. IMF, World Bank also already confirmed supporting us in terms of areas that you may find them challenges, especially in the mining sector. So yes, there are some of the things that also happen in parallel that we want to sort of you may prepare this side, but you may work. So I think I'm no myself say thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Very briefly, and just to add on to what the Minister said in terms of the sovereign wealth fund. So there has been some initial discussions, especially a few weeks ago, as the Minister said, our permanent secretaries, they went out for a day retreat, basically on the concept of a sovereign wealth fund. And this is a very important one. We could have done this 20 years ago, at the height of the logging industry, for example. But better late than never. I think it's important that as we now focus on the productive sector, including mining and even fisheries, so that tuna stocks blame on climate change and warming go potumas botarana from itu. So the government, as leader of opposition has said, in terms of legislation, through the leadership of Minister of Finance, policy by Kamlo cabinet, on the basis of that, next steps, legislation. There are a number of countries in the region, including Papua New Guinea, who already have legislations in terms of sovereign funds. So that's the next step. Once policy and Kamlo cabinet from the Ministry of Finance, then we look at the legislative part of it so that we can move ahead with this idea. It's very important for our future generations. And I guess part of that legislation would be how do we ring fence that sovereign fund as well, so that we don't have sticky figures sort of holding on to that. So, Chairman, I just want to assure the House that this is a policy initiative that we attach a lot of importance to, especially for our future generations, while we still have these resources. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I'm very pleased to hear this and that the discussions are underway. No delay. Move a little bit with him. And it's not something where you need for go nationwide consultation. The technical aspects must be right. And then take him come because shipments go here. So we need to safeguard the resource. So this is highly commendable, the initiative, Lord, this one. We serve, we've learned the hard way for many, many years by capture to industry capture of the state. We mustn't allow it to happen more. And so the Sovereign Wealth Fund has to also anticipate that, that experience where you may learn and you may not fall down on the same problem. So it's a great, really wonderful initiative, and dream you mean a whole inside more. Let it be invested, let it make profit. Some of the profit now come no budget, and even that should be perhaps ring-fenced to education or health, or also investing in the people and in the future generation. So I just wanted to register my appreciation for this fellow initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader of Opposition, for that. Yes, that's something that priority to the government already. Technically, we already, not like the Prime Minister has mentioned, that already government, especially of the PS, already, and so government is prioritizing that. In terms of earlier comment on DBSI, that's also government is looking to putting capital index in law DBSI, and that's one thing that we also talking to our partner, especially for UMI, sort of on lending arrangement to DBSI and then help the private sector on that. I think point Chair of PAC Hemi sort of putting up across here. I think not lesson learned in the past year, but something for me improve Lohem to see that we target more areas that help him going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chairman.
No comments.
Just two issues as we talk about this big sector, law mining here. It's important that we talk about it. The assumptions look this well budget, a big core part law assumptions law revenue come from him. But in terms of moving forward, it is important we talk about it. And this, I suppose, part law this one had me disappointment below me, lo this fellow Geotech Lab here. We will have another year where we held ransom to data provided by companies to us. We will not be in a position to ourselves say data am correct or not correct. We will not be in that position in 2026. This is a huge risk and vulnerability. And so I'm surprised the Geotech Lab is taking so long. You may allocate him 16 million law supplementary law this year for equipment. And I don't know where that is. Ministry come and me say that him go through procurement process. CTB him no meet. PS Finance come and say CTB me meet me all no documenting. So me no know which who now I mean to talk through, but one arm lo government tell him one thing, another arm tell him another something. But in terms of its absolute essential importance in this whole thing, we must have one. If we don't have it, we are held ransom. We are so vulnerable. We accept whatever they tell us. So this one must happen. The other is this minerals bill that is before us. When we deal with it, by ifal mas luluklem, But this clause 49 is a terrible policy choice. Government time up handlem, no involved law disval sector. Aye, non-renewable and government no involved. You mean all right or what? We want to be raped and pillaged and stolen from again? Government must involve, in a sense that it is controlling and driving it. Yes, allow market to be involved too, but these two things must go together, in my view. And government should look at setting up SOEs to deal with, deal in. You know, get a big deposits here, no, give him out. SOE blow me put him selling inside, capitalizing, or the employment man do, go doing prospecting local. You me company SOE no whole mining license or something else. Then invite him some investors to partner with us. Government hold a majority or a big part of it. Also, we have to start thinking like that. Make me control most of the money and no transfer pricing. You me now marketing or with kind something else. So.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and do thank the leader of opposition for really emphasizing this really important priority for government. I think to respond to concern raised, already CTB have been clear with the process of the tendering process, so we hope this should be commenced soon. And as you noted from my earlier, that this is also working closely with the responsible ministry to make sure that point you raised important. I think in the mine sector, in terms of how we justify some of, especially with the current ongoing operation, yes, we really need to. This is important for us, and we, as a government, also see as a priority. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honourable MP for East Aral.
Thank you, Small Malaita. Ito ala tabublit to talk now. I think for in terms of the sovereign wealth fund, it's really good idea, and I applaud the government for that. Better late than never, like the PM just said. It's good to check out what the others have done, but don't forget to go to the daddy of all sovereign fund, Norway. Must go kasi Norway. What the man where what the bar Stockholm sovereign fund and what the bar most successful in terms of sovereign fund. No good me copy himself another sovereign fund where you me all go inside of some what the no one I'm living no most good. Norway and connections there, friends there, but are very much supportive of this year. When it comes to the issue on page 15, Chair, if I can go for page 15.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Lord donor support and appropriations update. I note there that two fella donors blue me or partners blue me, what not like Seleva. To talk about donor to us this time, yeah. What I like say what the partners, but I see that two fellow partners, they seem to attach some importance to this fellow suggestion. I think during the discussions, PAC. I was just wondering, are there other partners also sharing a similar kind of feeling for, it might be important for you, make sure that this appropriations where perhaps they're not appropriated or some little bit kakam for you looking much more clearer inside the formal structure. Just wanted to know whether this is a widespread feeling among our partners or only two falenoma seem to hands up learn, but what naron no mas. That one no more question. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Probably asked the Chair of Foreign Relations Committee to sort of give me clear what page now, mainly not with me. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Chairman. Oh, you.
Chair, I think if I ask for Chairman Blow, or me repeat him one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So just page 50 down here, where it seems to be the idea is that Tufala partners blame seem to be quite open or indicating some interest or importance attached to budgeting and maintenance budgeting and recurrent operations kind type of semia. I was wondering whether this one is of a feeling shared by the wider partners or what now thinking blow ministry will have similar kind story or some or story come no front law PAC no more because I think it's a good to encouraging partners blame to be involved more law, including with recurrent kind type budgeting processes blame here too. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chairman of Foreign Relations. Yes, in fact, that's one of the recommendations of previous PAC reports that how we can closely work with our donor if, and as you know that around 1.6 billion source of non-appropriation. And so that's something that the government is working closely with our donors, especially to sort of, and some of the donors, they also a little bit reluctant to sort of align with, in fact, immigrant framework with the Ministry of National Plan, sort of coordinating our donors. So that's a work in progress, and you will notice from this budget that a big allocation through budget support, because that's a kind of approach that we sort of put into our donor to sort of align with government priorities and policies, and also if they can really indicate to answer. That's something that is ongoing. In fact, other donors are dealing directly with sector ministries, like, and so those ones appear here, many of clearly, like for JKM, already confirmed how much by put him in. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Question from page 49 on Saffron's Wolves. But before I do so, may like to underscore the importance and the significance along resource sector, where others have spoken about, and especially the points raised by the leader of opposition, that some follow got something, we've been suffering from the resources curse for a long time. Every resource owner, every province, every EU government, and the whole economy. And it's been like that by design. And much of it is because we haven't really done the right thing. So some follow where Minister Finance to Tokolohem, me Herem Minister Longo Mines Semi take him come minerals bill too. What good something? Take him come good time. Make him stop him this kind disintegration long economy blow me and people blow me suffer no more from this curse. My question on this matter, sir, I think by probably whether Prime Minister now he might respond long him. This is about the special committee appointed by the cabinet. Me like Sabe, if there is a timeline where cabinet have establishing for this committee to report by, and for assurance long house that it will be brought to the house in due time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I do thank my good friend, the Chairman of the Parliamentary Arts Committee, and the powerful MP for Small Malaita for Question, of course, the committee comes under the Ministry of Finance and Treasury. Caucus will be meeting tomorrow to deliberate on the report on the Safran's Wolves. So 10:30 tomorrow, caucus will be meeting. Then after caucus, and Kamlo Cabinet. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Honorable for West Arare.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Minister. You knew so. Discussing Mibarawa, happy for him. It's and Chairman, thank you for allowing this one interaction. Lo committee, new. Osem is to him say, 20 years, me couple of years, yeah, me para happy him. Chair, me lo page 47, quality spending. Chairman, me support him, Chairman of the PAC, Leader of the Opposition, Member Los Small Malaita, for you borrow, invest, and continue for spend. Country blim need him. So me encourage him to wait in Mogata, no current fear. And you me for support him. Quality spending, once you buy, invest and spend, awesome. Quality spending, quality expenditure. I think that one too, you mean no side look like me like for me spend no more. And PAC report me highlight him Lonara ankle quality spending. Me look to for page lawyer 122 and 123 law headquarter below you, Minister. If you put him in as you start for Lulu, where now quality spending lo him. One for lo there na me lo bottom lo page 123 MPs traveling overseas traveling and something him out no him zero but me look more him on top more. Yeah, but if there is a management and control of what the expenditure for him quality, I think we are starting law implementation of this budget. So me but encouraging me for you spend, invest, but him must be quality. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and let me thank the Chairman of BLC for those encouraging word and also recommendation towards government to borrow. I think something that we also seriously looking at to going forward, especially now financing our key infrastructure. I think point raised that me also highlight him during my speech. I think that that's one area we really need to also, while we are also looking to borrow or spend, but the things quality spending, that's something that we also need to strengthen ourselves. And I think the recommendation from PAC on strengthening our government institutions, that's something that will help. And come back to earlier discussion this morning, Chair, I think one committee that we also need to strengthen that oversight to this one expenditure committee, because that's part of the process of how you may try to see especially law government expenditure, that oversight here we need to strengthen too, and of course come back law government institution. But these are areas that need resources, and of course need more people that more qualified so that they can help us, and of course putting more resources. And so that point me really think that Chair of BLC and also the recommendation that he put forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment before I put the question? Honorable Chair, PAC.
Thank you, sir. Sir, something that really borders on the ensuring credibility of public finance. I'm not in the side law or the exemptions here. And I think we've captured very briefly normal law in our report. But what we have stated in that report now is disclosure. Yeah, the disclosures of exemptions. Exemption for helping with investment, for what they can comment and make sure no more that you may assessing good now the investors here that we are granting exemptions lower. But there's another angle to it which I think you may need to. In that way, we will improve transparency, understanding how exemptions are granted. And I think we need to start thinking about this, and I'm just thinking that possibly next year we could ask that the Minister of Finance so that it can be reflected well along appropriation. Yeah, because when we granted exemption or we give tax breaks to companies or investments, these are lawful revenues were due to the state here. So when we turn it around and then give it to them, it is not a free money to them. We have to account for it properly too. So we began to, start talking about, the whole idea of accounting for it in the appropriation. So I just want to pick your thinking on this, Minister, that possibly next year you should account for this properly in the appropriation, where we should treat them as tax expenditure. They are tax, but then we are spending it to these recipients. And of course, we can disclose them in the way that the instruments that are granted to them, but it's good for us to dig deeper into what the actual value that is given to them. Make them challenge him order to be serious about those investments too. Make him not use him nothing no more. And when it is put to the open, like you mean chat here parliament, everyone would say, oh yeah, the whole public resources are given to these people for helping order for grown investment for the good of the country. So, do you think that is the kind of thinking that you'll be able to do next year? It's a huge spending that government will have to grant him out investments here. But we need to account for it. And over time, we need to assess what the impact of this investment, public investment in terms of the tax expenditures that are given to them. Then after him no good no more, or the wind him over the company. So Titing Blomi next year, let's bring them into the appropriation process now. Make him or the money or the philosophy. Meeting him come before here, or finance minister before. Me, I think I was in finance as well. And grant him man investment money. He's in the wholesale sector. After exemption, him closed no more. Him closed down too. The next thing me look at him, see that no more museum now. We don't like that kind of investment. We want something that come back to the term that Chair Blow, BLC and Talemia, it has to be quality consideration given for. So what now, Tinting Blow, you are Minister, is that something that we can do next year for improving, the disclosure of tax revenue due to the government, but we chose to give them as expenditure to this investment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and let me thank the Chair of PAC and Member Blockless Imi Lohia Hemla Hemiana. think very important observation. In fact, that's one of the first things that I was also trying to put some stop Lohem. But I think me probably need, because there's also some powers with the committee that sort of assessing the submission. But already me also take some action, especially to stop, because me consult with health for see that importing not sugary or some kind of like mentioning to mention about someone MJ look or some buy something or some, but look at some areas to help at some kind of policy direction given to the committee to sort of when they sort of recommending exemption, they consider the policy rationale of some of the exemption requests. And so really for more than 100 million me or some no approval foresee that I mean a little bit need in policy backup, need clear, especially from sectors here, investment law, and so. The other thing to do with the statutory exemptions, that's probably one area to look to. But so these are the priority that as government that we look to review, and of course in terms of reporting, already with the gadget that the Prime Minister himself table in the Parliament, that one appear inside of the exemption that given. But I think the recommendation that you, Chair of PACM, I think good for you, me sort of putting against what the sector ministries too. Example me like for give him now, like what key projects play you me. Sometimes government through exemption, me also contribute a lot to him, because me seems to notice him that the project may be 200 million, but the government also giving extension incentives to lot projects go him big too, and so probably for him reflected law budget or especially law reporting, we think that's probably a good recommendation, and of course as part of helping you lot process of quality spending, and also investors that come to invest time you may give him. That is also important for him monitoring that what government give him access to intended purpose, and setting, putting some policy direction from relevant ministry in terms of that sector and important, and of course put them some condition to so that help him. I think. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Central Honiara.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Me happy law engagement law minister, even though I'm no answer come question below me whether or not we should actually appropriate him now the tax expenditures here, the exemptions that have been granted. But maybe I think you have that in mind, so I'm all right. The other aspect that me like to ask him no more is that in the fiscal strategy, as part of the effort for helping now the other sectors here to be able to boost connect their access to the market, is the idea of ICSI by forming one of a new logistic company or something or something. Yeah, logistic company. Yeah, possibly ICSI will be running a shipping company or something or something. So, what is the policy rationale of having ICSI to run now, or if it's going to happen next year, a shipping company? And why the placement under ICSI and not MID, I think, the Marine Law MID, or even SEMA, Emerson. Of course, we cannot give it to SEMA because SEMA before we allow them to buy a boat and then triple boat here or the Regeruan Loranandi. So I don't think we can go to SEMA again. So now we wanted to go to ICSI. What's the whole idea of going to ICSI? We all know ICSI is facing a lot of difficulty too, yeah? Capitalization, below Solomon Airlines, below the other investments here. And then here we are going back to ICSI. What now the rationale behind choosing ICSI to start this logistic company, I think? Yes. If I can, yes, I think it is a logistic company, yeah. So why is it that we have to place it under ICSI, not SEMA, or possibly a small unit along marine under the MID? Minister, can you inform me? No good afternoon, you will somehow take MCP then go one time too. You will not do this kind of. Thank you, sir.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and let me thank the Chair of PAC. In fact, you make it 2 times me respond to that question there. So, Chair, I think you that bit move me fast. I mean, let me respond to the Chair on that. But the thing,
I can withdraw that because I think it has been asked. So let me go out a little bit no more, not because I'm bored, but me go out a little bit, no, let me come back. So, yeah. I'm all right. I think we need to move on to here.
Thank you, noted. Thank you, Minister, for the recommendation. Honourable Leader.
Thank you, sir. I note there's a recovery of 4-point-something million from Solomon Airlines projected for 2026. So I'm just wondering the basis of that projection and what's the policy going forward in terms of Solomon Airlines, support long Solomon Airlines. Because Solomon Airlines baru run loose, yeah? And by him run loose next year too, yeah? And year after too, unless there is a significant change in policy as to how Baham is structured and also, but in its current structure and given the level of competition, it may look difficult as things stand to recover anything from, but what now policy going forward? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
thank you, Chair, and let me thank the Leader of Opposition. In fact, that's an important question in relation to Solomon Island, and Chair, that Solomon Island really helped me in financial situation that need government capital injection. Me lugo lo Chair lo PAC bis mahal wa kami tell dream long time come to that one, yeah. That putting several funds into our SOE, especially some airline through ICSI in the past, but some problem here continue for happen. But anyway, Chair, I think it's something that the government, especially for to bring to cabinet this that discussing now with Solomon Airline and also with SPOL is one of the problem that we sort of are solving between the Solomon Airline and SPOL too, because the incident happened with one of the twin otter, which is sort of like almost written off now. So we are working to sort of settling that. But the need for government for putting some support to airline having. So what we in the process of requesting much more Solomon Airline for giving some kind of assurance in terms of once we deal with this, how and happen, especially as, and so in fact the policy for that I'm yet to bring to cabinet. So I think the process that the discussion is ongoing with Solomon Airline and also to deal with some of the issues that we want them to deal with first before government puts some funding. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. It's the new... It's a new comment, right? Yeah, Chairman.
Yeah, absolutely new. Last time, say, Minister, your predict, or well, the one previous to the previous one, yeah, Minister had promised that they will come up with a business case, a review of Solomon Islands. Has that been done? Has it been completed? And what's the outcome of that review? Thank you.
Minister?
Thank you, Chair. That's the negotiation between government, especially Ministry of Finance, ERU, and airline, because some of these, for government to really making a decision, especially for putting some money into somewhere, is really need some kind of, especially from somewhere, to prove, because the situation now must, and so we're putting some direction to Solomon Islands, especially to look at the number of areas, especially with their business case, and also some projection that will help us in terms of government will make a decision, especially whether to inject. But the need and the agency, yes, the Somaliland need support from government. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chair, PAC.
Chairman, so I take it that the overall outcome of that review is that Solomon Islands need a huge capital injection. So what's the magnitude of that capital injections that came out from that review? 20 million, 30 million, 50 million? And do you think that, that is something that government will be able to do next year to turn him around now, the situation in Blue Airline? Or? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Chairman.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you. Yes, I think to really come up with a figure now, because we try to sort of working to, especially for Solomon Islands, to put in some of the area that government directed them to do, and of course, government. In fact, if you look the budget, we already put them some money for next year, especially for SOE recapitalization. But we cover the Solomon Airlines, ICSI, same, and also the support through CSR. So these are already we factor in the budget, but we are really yet to, especially for government, to make decision on how much. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. If I now can put a question, sorry, Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you. Some capitalization and going through ICSI. I'm just wondering what's the state of finances law, ICSI, and audit Blhem? How up to date is it?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm yet to sort of getting a more update on ICSI, especially the update on the financial or the auditor books. So I think for now I'm not really to respond directly to the question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
PS and Deputy PS Tuasave, they've been there for 10 years or more. Tuasave, Tualbeno hiding from me.
Was that reported to the committee?
Huh?
They appeared before the committee. Was that brought up?
No.
Okay, so they can't speak here.
No, they can't speak here, but they can advise the minister to inform committee, because we have quite a significant amount going to ICSI, and ICSI hasn't been audited and backdated for a little bit of time, and we want to know where. I think it's within the committee's right.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Chair. I think one of the things that we are also working, especially with ICSI now, is to sort of, as part of the reform law of SOEs, we also see if and that's also areas that we want ICSI to go into as also appeal law budget. But in terms of update financials from ICSI, that was since 2017. So I think to really answer the question that maybe I can more provide the information later through the pitching. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Chairman, this one, Baron no good. ICSI is a very, very critical vehicle for government investments in the economy, and its reporting must be up to date. And by we give him success and go more, and we have no, audit report on its finances and the way it's conducted itself over the years. 2017. Man, you mean 25 years, 2017 audited report or just financial statements, someone just put them together. For the premier investment vehicle, it is really terrible. There must be some accountability. How now go hemi no go too much also. So I just wanted to register that great disappointment that ICSI is being allowed. Sir, Ministry of Finance, is a really critical, obviously, the premier manager law economy below you and the number of SOEs, the growth in the SOEs, but you need himself more SOEs. And so that for growth there ought to be a separate portfolio more ministry for SOEs level. Because finance it's got too much of the critical strategic stuff to deal with, and the SOEs would need to be brought under a portfolio of their own so that there is direct supervision. There's so much money that's going through them that is important to have oversight of him. Thank you, sir.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. And I do acknowledge especially the concern of leader of and his disappointment. I think something that also noted and seriously look like that's one of my initial direction. Law that one now already we asked ERE to work with ICSI for advertising the new board of directors, and so already we're looking to get the board appointment process done and then move into looking at it. But this is also one of the priorities that we also focusing on in terms of before putting some money to sort of looking at areas that need to, and that's one of the priority. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader.
I'm just concerned, sir, that within ERU, someone must be solely responsible for ICSI. And that someone would be saying, 3 months finished, when our financial statements submitted to Auditor General now, and then follow up with the Auditor General. What time audit report come? All same. But if ERU is not doing that, then we expect ICSI Selevanomo to go directly to the Auditor General. If I'm working, I'm good, but all these years I'm not working. That accountability must be law ERU. So someone's not doing their job or they're overworked, go, ICSI and become neglected. But we have to clean it up because ICSI is a very critical player in government interventions in the economy. The other point to it is, of course, because of this ineffectiveness of ICSI over so many years, the government has gone to then incorporate more SOEs, Airport Corporation, or what MOBA, where I'm no longer under ICSI, held by 2 ministers or also. Again, it's probably a knee-jerk reaction to that frustration of ineffectiveness below ICSI. So we need to clean up ICSI. We need to pull some of these more commercial SOEs under ICSI, and we have much better governance law ICSI, so we have a one-stop shop for government commercial activity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any comments, Honourable Minister?
Thank you, Chair. And yeah, I think me really acknowledging the concern, important recommendation given to in terms of ICSI. In fact, that's one of government commercial arm that once we improve in terms of reporting and of course operation and going to some of the areas that government is directing now. So any priority that we're looking to improve and of course putting some funds to help too. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The Honourable Chair of PAC.
Thank you, sir. So, if you look at the picture of ICSI, you look normal on page 133 below your head. And on the income side, you will see it's not a good looking picture. Dividends from ICSI, for instance, is not recorded there, but it is a dividend from SOEs, which since SOEM come in, it has gone down. And maybe you know, you said who is that SOEs that we still do much better than ICSI in that dividend list here, or that provision law there. Then, of course, you have an income from rental more there. Which building now, government is still running here. It's not picking up, remain awesome. So, if you look at the investment portfolio of local government, and here we are, we are trying to go out more and then secure or procure debt financing. But this kind of a picture, I am no so many good picture no more that we will be able to invest those money into quality investment, or even the existing ones that we are having. We are not receiving good return from those investments. So this is a very challenging situation for country. And I think ICSI situation here, you may need for really review. Me bara agree with the leader of the opposition. You all not blaming me for jumping along SOE. Jumping into SOE in the past year, it's part of an exercise to try to find a way, to get those statutory bodies at that time, the statutory authorities, into a more corporatized operation. But then you mean creating more investments out of it. I think airport authority, this was tower here. Minister and tell him that the 116 tower has now been installed. They are not in generating income in the hundreds, but million. So money. So 116 towers here generating 1 million each. That should be 116 million. Yeah. That's the kind of impression that me getting from Deputy Prime Minister, that these towers are now generating 4G or 5G, towers. So can that kind of a situation be shown? Yeah. I think something better can be put out on the investment front. But page 133, him no speak very well on how now ICSI, the outlook of ICSI investment said. What's your thinking of that one, Minister? Thank you,
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair Law, PAC. Chair, in terms of SOE dividend, that SOEs that paying dividend to government, especially SIA or Solomon Power and SIPA, Somaliland Port Charter. They also even participate law government treasury bond too. So that shows that they are performing well. But I think through in terms of ongoing reform of SOE and the focus on ICSI, it's a point noted. That's something to also consider. In terms of the rental that appears an income low here, Chair, mainly because of now that we will be contracting at the super scale even down to what the FC law contract. So as part of that, they will also paying the government because of the contract, and of course by appear some income now compared with him, especially, and also those not included under the rental scheme. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Easter Are.
Thank you, Chair. Just on SOE dividends, no, just heard from the Minister that Tufala now contributing here. But then we're hearing the Tawa STL, a brand new one, already millions coming in. Why now have no included law? Is there a policy decision for no including Mokotalo here, or how much not Tawa making so far? STL or what is Solomon Tower Limited here? And why are they not here? Is it some policy decision for not including them there? Thank you.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I think just for giving much more detail, especially our state-owned enterprises, including CBSI, and now some of the SOEs that already paying government dividend, like me, Talamelia, Solomon Power, Solomon Port. This one new one, yeah, seems Maritime Authority, yeah, and CBSI, and so these are the ones that are paying dividend together. Of course, like the Somaliland Airport Corporation, something that we also working, especially SOEs that they are performing well by paying dividend, and so that's kind of discussing. Probably the Deputy Prime Minister will also add on that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to make the record correct here, with regards to the comment from the MP for Central Honiara, it doesn't mean that 1 tower, 1 million. No. The record, I think it was in the PAC report. The record from March to July this year, Solomon Tower Limited, from the tower they have 5.2 million, but that is when it's only about 30 towers operational. Now we have 57 as we speak. What about when we have 160 towers? Just look at the maths there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for clarification, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister. Honourable Chair, PAC.
Thank you. I'd like to thank him, Deputy Prime Minister, for making that clarification, because, you know, the news that came out today, I'm actually quoting you. It quotes you in your debate in here that, 100 and something plus towers have been completed, and they have been earning something not in 100, but in millions, like that. So it's good that you qualify that, because I was going to point you to this inquiry that we made, that so far, I think those towers that are in operation are less than 116, is generating just over 5 million So I think the statement that you made in this house is a little bit misleading, a little bit. That got recorded and then relayed on the SIBC. So that was the whole intention. But thank you for standing up. Then you clarifying that one, because I was going to point you to this particular report where we made that inquiry to your officers, the Public Accounts Committee. But thank you now, Deputy Prime Minister, for making that clarification.
Thank you. What is dispensed with in the Parliament? Sorry, please check the record of Hansard, because that's the information that you will get on what's actually said on the floor of Parliament, not what is reported outside in the media. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, can I correct you on that? The voice got recorded. The voice of the Deputy Prime Minister was recorded and then aired on the SIBC this morning. Yeah.
Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Chairman, I think the statement was misleading. I didn't say that. I said a total of 161 is supposed to be built. So far, we built about 130 plus, 57 operational, 57. And currently, the tower company is making millions of dollars with that. That's what I said. I didn't put a finger on that. So in the PAC record, it states from March to July, they make $5.7 million. It's in the record here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you. That's what I was going to point him to. Point him to this record law here. I'm not what me like try to point him because Mr. Chairman, me am no past to you, but I want to ask you for go and harem now. This will broadcast where me come out long SIBC early morning today. So me a little bit surprised to you. Look at that. This much is, and then I want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister for further qualifying more this time. Yeah, make him or the SIBC take him, then go qualify him, go more statement where make him law morning because I thought it is misleading. I want to point him to my report. Yeah, and that is the fact that came out from his officials. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chairman. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. While we're addressing this issue, Lord Tower Company, in relation to finance and the broader economy, of course, telecommunication costs remain too high, and they are a problem. They really are a drag on economic activity, data costs, and I think it ties back to telecom's dominant position and the ineffectiveness below TCSI. I know the Minister's been looking at a number of reforms below TCSI, and these are really critical. And TCSI's focus must be on competition. But there is, I think that the whole point of setting up the tower company is not just to erect companies all over the place. That's good, that's the first part. But is to promote competition so that all the players putu molketa gear blolket lohem. But as it is at the moment, this is not happening. So tower company and agreement with Telkom already has a dominant position, is further aggravating or further enhancing that domination. So therefore, no any incentive for Telkom to improve the quality and reliability of service or lower the costs. So I think, Chairman, to really promote that further competition, it's important that the tower company takes on a mobile, a virtual network enabler, and the tower company now on it, and then the tandem core, Hemblo Tower Company, and the transponders, Hemblo Tower Company, and then all the users, all the carriers are able to then lease it off. So otherwise, everyone at Blo Telecom no more, and B-Mobile cannot compete. There is a third mobile operator and two small. It's an indigenous company, but I'm not going to compete. But we have to open this up, and it's fair competition. The only way to do it is that tower company becomes the enabler. So I don't know why this hasn't been done. So I'm asking both ministers. Policy law this one. If you doing this one, byte data and call costs by go down substantially and the quality by go up. We already have submarine cable. And yet, calls are terrible. Your Golo data is terrible. And we ask why that is. Why that is for so many years now since we had the cable. So I think we need to move to that stage. And if it may require either policy or some regulatory work to force telecom to hook up to this virtual enabler, network enabler, and having company, block government, tower company now providing. Thank you, sir.
Leader, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. I think noted the important concern, and especially as you know that this is one of the sectors that have potential that we also working for this one second cable because of we see that potential not this sector, and so I think in terms of SOE performance, we hope that these are the SOEs that will work. But of course, in terms of services, that the point raised by that's something that it's also work with the mobile providers, and of course the SOE responsible. And so, yeah, thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I think this issue can be also revisited when you come to page 154 on the head. It's also the telecommunication tower company. The specifics are in that, so maybe more appropriate you question it when we come to that.
Yeah, we could do that, but because ICSI capitalization, I mean,
Okay.
one for an important issue, and so. You know, I was kind of hoping that there would be some capitalization, further capitalization, law telecom, law tower company, law government, making ME providing all these facilities. So ME normal here now, that's why me ask what now policy law this one. Why I am normal? Was it not thought of, or is it something? It's not something that can be. The technology has been in place for the last 10, 11 years, so it's not something where there's no reason why we shouldn't have it. And the low quality and high cost, low telecommunications, Emi Barros to make a strong case for Yumi Garen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Leader. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. The point noted, and of course, this is priority area that we also dealing with ICSI as subsidiary to what number of. Sorry, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further comments? Thank you, Honorable MP for East Are.
Thank you, Chair. And I note you will be coming to the towers again later, I think, during the time of Minister. But I think the towers are low near, so I think some of the proceedings, what the procedure, I am going for pay more flow now. I'm just trying to come back to why I am not involved law. It seems to be making money, but I'm not inside law. SOE kind of dividends, that category. Is it because selling him make me for pay more flow no more? That one now. Question to me. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. In fact, in terms of because the project is still for complete here, as the Deputy Prime Minister has mentioned here, and so the next phase of the project now to see, especially in terms of the returns of the project, but just to inform the House, the company also now government is securing the another cable, so probably going forward, that does not mean that they will pay dividend, but this is decision that will we look at the future in terms of performance of, especially in relation to the tower company. So I think for IMI for really giving the information now, because the project is still ongoing and yet to complete. The phase 2 of it now by himself coming. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chair, PAC.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, yeah, probably Prime Minister will be able to respond to this. Prime Minister, by you respond to him. Recently, when you were in Australia, there was some signing or commitment on the financing of the second cable, isn't it? Second cable company. So, in terms of provisioning of that budget to be rolled out next year, it is not featured in here. So can we ask the question, what is the total financing that you sign, and who will own that particular cable, and which direction Bahami Connect come into the country? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and let me thank my good friend, the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and the MP for Central Donera for that important question. Yes, on the margins of the Solomon Islands Australia 14th Business Council Forum, I did witness the signing. The Honourable Minister of Finance and Treasury actually signed the document, but I understand the funding is a mixture of grant and concessional funding. I don't have the details as to what is the grant component or the concessional component, but I'm sure the Minister of Finance can provide that information. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Chair, and to really answer director the Chair Law PAC. I think this already we signed that cable there. Name blem had a massive and now name block that cable. Tabu blomi and block Chair Law House Committee and minim now what na the massive man law me for 2 years anyway. So the second cable me signed, especially with this Australian Pacific infrastructure facility, and so me that's quite a good deal. Maybe I'll give more detail, not now this thing that Chair that question and me focus go more on the recommendation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Leader.
Yeah, thank you. I can understand a second cable for redundancy, so I'm good in terms of national security. But in terms of reduction of cost, no excuse for wait for second cable. Of the how many 30 or 40 terabytes capacity we have in the current cable, we're only using less than 5% of it. And it's been 5 years. And the life of that cable is 20 years. But it's because of our own strategy, our own policy, not defective. So this has a big impact on the economy. Telecommunication is a key component of the economy. That's why this competition has to be enhanced. That's why our own tower company has to have these enablers and must own the tandem core, and transponders, critical. You do that over the next month or two, costs go up, quality go up, costs go down. But as it is now, no matter you take them come near 3 cable more, you need that dance around about cable no more. Next one, call them mad masia more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to give some light to the chamber, the government is putting every effort to make sure affordability is enhanced within the citizens. So the second cable, in part long walk program na ya, mi secure me. We are also looking at the option for getting the third company for telecommunication for coming, so that there's competition. But when you look at the cable and the telecommunication operators, pull there too, yeah, Chairman. Yeah. So the government must make sure balance everything. The team goes straight also. We have lots of friends around. Make sure the government do the right thing for the people of this nation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Honorable Chair of PAC.
Chairman, no, it's quite good to see that, there will be space for our buying service sorting out now, competition within this sector. But, I think Leader Blow Opposition and Bara really pin him down one very important thing here, which is, so if that is the case, what no more Pepper's Blodgela Telecommunication Act that you mean currently? Which is all about providing competition within that sector. But suppose you stand no more for protecting number one fellow operator no more. Him never buy him happen this time, yeah? Price by him go up. Thank you, Acting Prime Minister last time, you call him order come, then you tell him to put your price down, but him not long too. Yeah, him not long too. So, Mr. Chairman, let's stand back a bit. And then you may look along what the players you have in charge this time. They can always make a difference here. And you can always facilitate in competition in charge including the towers that you may build in here. There are some fundamental issues that you may need for sorting out one time or other for them to have a fair go in the use of these towers here. That one you mean fixing it. That is the one that you mean fixing it here. So, Mr. Chairman, you may must allow this Telecommunication Act here, the spirit of it for him must apply locally. You know, hold back, Deputy Prime Minister. No hold back. Because you look at you top up no more, the moment you go outside law here, every top up go finish now. I'm saying. No anything by I'm true here. I'm true. I'm saying. You top up this time, the moment you reach him no more that entrance law there, the whole top of them go now. So that whole spirit logical competition that you may say for you may allow, even just come to that example no more the use of those towers here. I'm good now what has been suggested. If they cannot come together, you find a way how they can come together, and that is let the towers invest the appropriate infrastructure by start with the towers here. Then everyone by coming have a fair go in the use of them. Right now you say tower no here, you will now come using man. One will no more by me. So why everyone by no more? Because of the way that those infrastructures are exist this time. No more little bit comment lo that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you for that comment from MP Blong Central Onira. That's a valid point. And the government is enforcing and letting all the operators to come and use our towers, the Solomon Company towers. So Solomon Company towers have signed the MOU with Solomon Telecom and recently signed with the B-Mobile. So they can come and use our towers. Because after all, the government wants to repay the loan as well. So we are encouraging that, just to make the for clearing here. So thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Honorable Leader.
Chairman, that is great. All we are saying is, you no stop at tower no more. You go hang em more, so tandem core Elohim, and put more transponder. Then that way, B-Mobile no need for buying core, and duplicate no and emblem, telecom car emblem. We only need one company to host that, and not transponder. Then allow others to enter. At the time you no need for go negom third, fourth operator more. They will come. because the initial capital outlay will be much less. One, you solve them tower issue now. Two, you solve them now, this for tandem core issue. Three, you solve them now, transponder. We're going to come no more for really use him now full 33 terabytes or whatever lob cable there. Hey, man, by quality top, price go down. That's what we're saying. Also, but you may just put on tower no more, then you come hang him something below tower. No, initial capital outlay is too big, competition by him not happen. Because the profitable routes are already dominated. So, be mobile struggle, no matter what the government selling, but struggle. How much more smaller own companies blame you. So that we're encouraging the government to move in that direction, I suppose. But because capitalization is not included in it, that's why we're raising for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. So that is the main intention for the MOU. For B-Mobile, come and put their gadgets, Lotawa. Telecom, come and put their gadgets. And who else? Who operators will come? So that the infrastructure cost, as the leader of opposition in Italy, may be reduced. Come and use our towers so that we can save our citizens. After all, we are saving one people of this nation. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Actually, the point, Chairman, the point is, ogat no kam hangem gadget logat. Gadget blow you hangem. Then ogat kam rent him. You're getting more money because not only lease low tower, you're getting more calls. Use low transponder blue, use low tandem coil. So it's not for them to come and hang him more. We take that off their books and we make more money. Not you, but Kabani.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you. That's really the whole of intention that the government think, and that in terms of why also government also welcoming the redundancy cable, because we see the growth which is going forward, and in terms of service, as highlighted earlier, also that we also need to improve. This is, of course, quite a good deal here because around 77 million, and the grant of it around 2022. So not grant, but the loan part of it is 2022, 22 million. And so the other thing to do with, because once one line breaks down, still you may connect, like we experienced that in the past when that cable break down and affecting the western part of country. And so that's rational in terms of looking at connecting another one, because by helping, and of course what the Deputy Prime Minister need for improvement in terms of services that was highlighted. But this is one of the sectors that we see potential for growth. So and we hoping that investment in this area by not helping the in terms of supporting SOE, but widening the scope of services across the country too. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Any further comments? Otherwise, I'm going to put a question. The question is that the sum of $243,822,067 for head 06 stand part of the schedule. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $243,822,067 for head 06 now stands part of the schedule. Can we dispose of one more head 07, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and External Trade. It is proposed that the sum of $56,595,468 for head 07 stand part of the schedule. Those who wish to comment on this head, please refer to the findings of the PAC and recommendations on the head, which are captured in pages 64 to 67 of the PAC report on this bill. Again, with your indulgence, please can we go through the head or the question through the head page by page before I put the question. Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Just in terms of PALM scheme, I was reading a report this morning, law Sanfal Solomon Islanders. It's anecdotal, of course, where all kita run away from employer blockade. So we have employment agencies that employed them, and then agencies, putumoga to go farms or something also. So once you run away from that employment agency, then they're in limbo. The report this morning here was about a young Solomon Island lady where me bablel or not a farm worker, and then me born him baby, but him cannot access him medical services now because he no longer part lomo. So and he cite him at least 2 or 3 other Solomon Islanders. So I want to know how many Solomon Islanders now are in this category. We are going to leave him country, registered under the PALM scheme, and then casino there for whatever reason. That would be my next question. What now the reason? Yeah? Olketa no longer under the PALM. The report cited some leave because or deductions any too high. Some leave for some other issues. But sometimes over the report maybe no accurate too much. But the welfare of people blaming Golo scheme very important. So how many Solomon Islanders are in that category? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of Opposition. Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Leader of Opposition. There are 44 Solomon Islanders who are in this category, who have absconded. But in comparison to Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, and other countries, it is a small number to us. We do have a 2 country liaison officer that are doing more the pastoral, we call them pastoral work, pastoral visit for Goran and visiting what the Wakaman around Australia, around the farms in Australia. We also have 2 of our, it complements a visit done by our High Commissioner in Canberra, as well as the Consul General, Law Brisbane. So we have 2 liaison officers who is doing pastoral work, pastoral or church, but also go looking for the farmers. So we have 44 in total. Thank you.
Honourable Minister, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, when me saw that report where leader him looking to you. I was just reading it Mr. outside, but me looking at a report too. This solar report here him about one fellow at the mania or the employer go, then employer him under investigation. So everyone finished. Or no work now. So they are now on the street. Question blow me now, also me. I think maybe I'm jumping the gun here, Mr. But one am now you me doing me. You me doing long workers belonging me. Hem good you got a pastor and also now, but what are we doing? These are our people. Hem no good here, Mr. Chairman. I report him no reading finish how many now also where Ogata no garem wakana because they have this problem, low employer, and for some reason is under investigation, so every wakaman would finish. But problem lo kata na what no sang go wakalo na place because they have these contracts. Hem no also rigidity lo kata contracts too hem param hemi one vala sandi hemi spoil motor workers belong you may. So I think there's many more where the garam this kind of problem. I mean, so whether you may garam good account long or the people blame me around long New Zealand and around Australia. But my question is, what are we doing about them?
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Chairman and the member for Small Malaita. When we started this LMU thing, it was a good thing. I'm helping people, blame me. But then as human beings, you know, we have social issues. And these social issues have spilled over what other workers, not only that, what the employers do. So what the employees and employers spill over these social issues. What we are doing is we are working with the Australian government in trying to address this, and several months where what are doing this Kenya before blacklisting water. So when they come back, automatically go back now. We just don't allow them more, don't allow them to go back. So they are actually in a blacklist of people not to return either to Australia or to New Zealand. So, but in considering the number of 44, I'm small, as I said earlier, but we are working with the Australian authority as well as the New Zealand authority in trying to address this issue in consultation with the employers and employees where the worker look there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable Minister, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Me happy Minister, me tell him what to work with the Australian authorities on this, but this kind of blacklisting, hopefully this will a man where me look him look picture, hopefully by no blacklisting because it's not his problem now, him out of job. Me this will employ him in Australia now, what a problem. But sir, I think the point also made by leader of opposition and where me tell him law statement law me too law contribution law me is or the deductions law workers me leave him net take home pay and borrow small too much. This is one for the problem where me cause him or get employees or the absconding contracts too, yeah. So some or the talemia emosem you work for nothing no more. So maybe it is something where we as a government must talk with them Australian law, but on that specific issue, what now you be doing long him? Kind deduction go take home pay or some you know anything no more. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Member for Small Malaita. I'm true, yeah. When I first heard about it, me, Barawa, like cry too, man. I was sorry about the money. Because, I mean, we spend so much money for airfares and passport and what a visa and awesome. And then time we go and then time we take back pay, come back. It was so small. Last month we had a meeting with the PESA Plus group that also involved the Australian government as well as some of the farmers association from Australia as well as New Zealand, Otakam. So we're trying to address this issue of how the farmers are deducting salaries, deducting pay from the Wakaman Blimi, the rental, utilities, and other things. So it's something that we are working with the authority, or the farmers associations here, as well as the Australian government, in ensuring that this thing does work and not something that using the labor force maybe for economic benefit and you may be stranded, not gaining much out of it at all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable members, it is now 4:30 p.m. The proceedings of this committee is now interrupted and Parliament will resume. And I understand the Prime Minister wishes to move a suspension of standing orders in order to allow the deliberations of the committee to continue. Thank you. Parliament is resumed. Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to allow more time for the Committee of Supply to consider the 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025 today. Accordingly, I seek your consent to move a suspension of the relevant standing order to allow continuation of business today.
Leave is granted, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I move that Standing Order 10.2 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 to permit the continuation of the business of the House until adjourned by the Speaker under Standing Order 10.5.
Thank you, Honourable Members. The question is that Standing Order 10.2 be suspended in accordance with Standing Order 81 to permit the continuation of the business of the House until adjourned by the Speaker under Standing Order 10.5. Those in favour, say aye. On the motion to, if you wish to interrupt, please go ahead.
Sir, one, mi valogat man sabat, and sabat now 2 years, so 6 now you finish, but and then make it 2. I'm look also you know garam koram for passing or get spent there. So if you don't like for pulu me long time, by you me trouble koram by me racing me. So I know me like for tala.
Thank you. Quorum is raised normally when the meeting starts. We had a quorum at that point in time, so we still had a quorum. That quorum that we started with counted.
Not how the Constitution is worded, Mr. Speaker. We had this argument before, and the Honourable Attorney General threatened me to finish. Meeting say you finish, man. Osai lo quorum. But this matter of quorum has been sorted out. It's clear.
Thank you.
It's an issue when it is raised. If it is not raised, it's not an issue.
I still have to, sorry, Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the motion to, but point me like for raising normal speed of
yes,
speed normal. I think good for you. Me speed up a little bit. And Speaker, as we discussed the morning, you no alarm. It's but I think we need to move fast because otherwise. But today, it was a 3 val no more. Yes, I think that point no more me, like for instance, if we may speed up a little bit. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Unfortunately, that is noted, but for the quorum, I think, as you said, if a precedent has been set, I'm not sure whether that therefore can be dealt with, or that can we suspend that standing order. Is it the Constitution, the provision? Okay. Yeah, you cannot suspend the Constitution. So the Constitution applies. So on that note, okay. But another issue says to complete the Foreign Affairs head, and then we suspend that on that. So on that note, that the extension is specifically only to consider and complete for the Foreign Affairs head. Thank you for your understanding. So those in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The committee will resume. Thank you. The committee is resumed. Any further comments on that head? And don't drag it so that we can finish at 6. Thank you. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Thank you, Chairman. Just the point along deforestation regulations below EU were imposing law countries law trade relations. And because some of the product blimi go along EU palm oil especially, but maybe also cocoa. Where are we with this? And when does it? What time now are they imposing this one? When does it apply? And how prepared are we to mitigate? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Leader. Actually, it was Hemem should start this year now. Should be enforced by December this year, 2025. I think importantly for us now is to ensure that our farmers at a plant law place where it's not deforested, meaning what go logging them and then what go plant after later there. So importantly now is to ensure that our farmers with a plant law what are areas that has not been deforested. Have no more that one. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you. So has some lead work gone into making sure that farmers below me are in a position to comply with the regulations below EU here so that them no affect them the trade?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, thank you, Leader. I think some of the current farmers believe me, the plantations brought law. The plantation they are finished. It's not as if what the plant time after the logging operation. But of the new farmers or the new crops or new cocoa trees that are like for planting, for expanding farms, must not be planted below deforestation. I think of the group law trade, especially lot of trade here, of the government awareness program. So if you look at budget, government a budget there for what trade people for making awareness, a lot of farmers will start making sure that we comply with this regulation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Minister, supplementary to the original question before I refer it to the Chairman. So please, you have the floor first.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman. So, I mean, we've been through agriculture, but development budget, there'll be funding for expansion, rehabilitation of cocoa plantations and expansion too. So important ogat masabe out extension officers so that advice ogat give him farmers semi accurate. But the time ogat say deforestation, what not minime virgin jungle there or regrowth here or come down as far as ogat sisimol tree where gogoro place logging go finish loheme. And how long after logging can that land become or can be used for crops where Sabe trade with EU lohem? Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Chair. A very good question regarding how long now, because after the logging and regrowth here, and some of the forest then become secondary forest. And then people go second time for logging land. So how long after that? It's a good question. It's probably a technical question in terms of, okay, how do we address this issue of regrowth? But yes, I think importantly for you try and avoid as much as possible plant law where logging has been deforesting water logs, forest, believe me. I think that's a key takeaway here for Italian farmers, believe me. In terms of sort of secondary growth, that is something that I think you have to seek clarification from EU. What now? The situation where the growth has come up, secondary growth, and then maybe plant clearer for planting water, cocoa beans or coffee beans or any other water commodities, believe me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Chairman, PAC.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, man, interesting point. No, it was discussing about this EU condition on deforestation. If you go back to history, some of the initial plantation forests that in Garem were all funded and planted with funding from the European Union. Santa Cruz, Allardyce, Arara, Al, Kasem Kude, Italim Loival, or a no in value no. Santa Cruz Munisha, what I mappen Loim, Allardyce, Alu, or Losarena, about Chai, what about Dim Loim. It's pretty interesting why they have to come up with that kind of a condition, law arrangement. And anyway, I mean, I'm just. It's a pretty intriguing issue. I just want to come back to the issue of labor mobility, because the budget blue, there is no mention whatsoever about labor mobility. So that is one issue that me like to ask him, and it would be pretty interesting to find out whether or not, as part of the functionality that has been given to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, including labor mobility. But in your recurrent, there is no such issue as in labor mobility. And I don't know which part of the provision of the budget here now. I think probably we need to go back and then redoing back more budget here for some time, maybe through the supplementary, for reorganizing now the visibility of that labor mobility into the budget. I think Minister of Finance, you may need to do that one here, Director of Budget and Sidan Lore. Because a lot of this sort of lump up normal external trade, like external trade. But and possibly you guys are pulling human resources from what other establishments for you to do the job. But the actual budget itself, labor mobility, so that's, I think, one oversight that me like to tell them no more, let's get that, done, possibly in a supplementary law next year, so that we can actually see the amount of resources that we have put in to be able to manage him now. This very, very important arrangement here, and a functional. Because it's earning billions of dollars for, not billions of dollars for our country here. It is a kind of a little garden somewhere where I'm helping, the earning into our external reserve. Even much better than the water man where you may encourage him water for coming doing mining here. You check him capital account belong to central bank, you will never ever see any money coming in foreign direct investment into water mining here. We've asked, the committee have asked the central bank. We asked them whether or not there is a reflection in Chilo capital account, zero. No mustard. Whereas this scheme here, man, Mbara did very well here. So, Mr. Chairman, I am suggesting that, you must include him in Chilo. Subheads belong foreign affairs. I think something that finance you need to work with foreign affairs for. No more the technical point no more. It's such an important money for the country, but it's not reflected in here, the budget here. Lumped in, bundled together one time, external trade and all other one, but for that division to be a separate division itself, yeah. No more. Thank you, Asher.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Member for Central Honora. I think it's a very good suggestion in going forward, because at the moment, LMU lump with external trade. And as external trade, you saw it's all about commodity and about trade within Europe, EU, UK, China, Japan, South Korea, and others here. So, in going forward, I think I'm good for you for a special budgetary consideration for what a group law, local law, LMU. Their office is at King George, Law Sports Stadium, underneath law there. So, Ministry is paying the rental law office Bogota and helping Bogota with the Bogota stationery and things of them, together with the Australian High Commission supporting the work of LMU here. So, but going forward, suggestion by the member for Central Honor is most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Me happy for this one where Minister just tell him come, but make him officer, big him up. And I think it can be self-funded if we are innovative enough. But question below me, along page 66, Mr. Chairman. This whole trade clearinghouse where Ministry hemi talemba wakemia, ami like Savanoma, we plan for make him next year now, and what kind of staffing skills now or expertise do we need in a this one will be a dedicated trade clearinghouse to ensure products meet international requirements. So if you may by putum something also I'm good for facility, Mr. Chairman, me like him for you make him, but whether you may ready to have now in terms of equipment and or the staffing or the expert for doing this kind of quarantine, one me some gata goods we me trade to him. Me like sabe whether minister me sabe updating committee on how prepare the preparations for this clearing house. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, MP for Small Malaita. If you look at the budget, if I got an audit report, audit fee that I'm aligned with him, EIF. So this one also highlighting the need for a new house for you building for clearing commodities for export. So we are looking for funds with our friends and for socializing with the donor partners when we building a clearinghouse as of next year. But I am highlighted by the audit report that there is a need for a clearinghouse for clearing water goods for export. Yeah. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you. Just a follow-up question, Noma, on yes, I'm come up report because or staff my question is about preparedness belonging me like Save, for example, what kind of expertise now you need him inside the facility. And I note that the minister have talent by him look at himself because him no garem anything inside him actually no garem any budget development budget for anything inside long recurrent him no anything do. So how not by him dream, but question below me in terms of expertise where we need him, skill we need him for other people who by work inside there. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, MP for Small Malaita. At the moment, we use him with a utility facility for public health for make sure that water clear water products claiming. Of course, we need water scientists for doing water tests and water lab tests and for advising me that the products are okay, including with the biosecurity people, so that also the receiving state that can comply with him, the receiving state, the goods claiming. So yes, the scientists, biosecurity people, as well as using to the public health for make sure that what the products are okay for export through the receiving end. Thank you, Mr.
Before any further comments, sorry. Honourable MP for East Ariari.
Thank you, Chair. I think the trade clearinghouse, good question. I think because trade clearinghouses usually mean something else in another context. Many people, we go buy and sell now, because I was in mini stock market now. Muslim. So in this context now, I'm good for hearing that you're talking about quarantine maybe, or biosecurity, biosafety kind of activity. So that's good. The other question, just to follow up on that one, is the idea of letting private sector run in. What's the policy choice? This one, like why now you all feel that government now must run in? Other places in Isabia, place for clear and more things here, what the private sectors now, what they're doing. And of course, there's a body that comes and makes sure the standards are met throughout visitations and stuff like that. But most of this work is done by private sector. And I think if there's a policy choice for you fala local tax breaks, tax credits, those kind of things for incentives for some fellow of our private sector people to do it, maybe we'll be surprised. They might be able to do it themselves. Even Kasim Lab too. Staka labs come back, technicians. They might want to work in that particular field. But just interested in the policy choice of this particular waka, where perhaps if I might get an idea of why now if I put to government namas running, rather than outsourcing it to private sector, which perhaps might run them perhaps more efficiently. Thank you. Then another question will come.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Eastern Island. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Member for East Malaita, for the question.
Eastern Island.
In other countries that depend on laws very much. For you, this one become a public institution. Meaning, a new project for next year. It's a public institution to ensure that the products play from country to country. So, rules of origin between Solomon Islands and the other receiving countries, where even like for ensure that the products that we send have meet the receiving state. That means country to country now. Now, this one, because it's a public institution, what the private sectors of the Saka Museum and also maybe too, even governments are using. And just for ensuring that the products that we do send meeting the criteria of the receiving states. So, following the rules of origin, in country to country, and that's why in government we make a policy choice to build this public institution. It will be a new project for next year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Leader.
Thank you, sir. I think hem tu same concern me garam law earlier question law EU regulations law deforestation because it goes further. We got like geolocation law when a farm here, and I got look law map over the last 5 years. What now forest cover what they recently doing. All of that's in the registration application processes. So I need him a little bit selling for facilitating that process for our farmers. So working in tandem with extension officers for agriculture, I think it is possible to do it, but to leave it totally Golo farmers, probably not the best way to give them support so that Ogotsabe comply and have no hold them up that particular trade. So I'm just concerned that let's find some money somewhere to be able to support them. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
No, thank you. I think that's a good idea. Maybe find money somewhere for helping Mogata. This rule I'm concerned about deforestation and then not planting oil palm. So it's a major work for planting oil palm. As you saw, the oil palm is a big plantation. So that's where the rule come up and enacted this year, at the end of this year. But certainly going forward, we look at assistance for supporting the farmers in terms of addressing the issues and concerns. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Honourable before Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Me want to ask him one question where I'm stuck a pages so by me, but one question and this is to do with them with the agreements. And I heard the minister making this announcement also by him making one for UNITO, one for Yeah, one department inside law ministry for not only monitoring but also making sure also what treaties and agreements agreement and also so me like save by you may start him that one what time because agreements some follow you miss sign him you may forget them now or the trade agreements and some in kind of agreement no more. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and Small Malita. Yes, the international cooperation, before Ministry will go ahead and recruitment them happen for treaty officers for him come inside law ministry so that them allow you for luluk lokota or the treaties or the conventions or the MOUs or the agreements that have been signed over the years and where one status are they still valid and awesome and good for you or do we need to review them and so forth. So yes, we have already made a head start by recruiting the officers and several of the lawyers who are like to join me. Treaty officers, and then we'll build on this unit we call the International Cooperation Unit or Division of Ministry. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable MP for East Are.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Minister. Yeah, I think it's clear that policy of the government is to have it controlled by a government body rather than private sector. So I think that choice has been made. I'm set. I think there's opportunities in terms of private sector because about operating, then of course the standards, you follow come confirming with the people. But I think the operations, because they're going to charge fees here, or people who like come to kabis go overseas, or kind of say about to come and clear them with that. But I think you've already made the decision that it has to be public. Fine, that's GNAT's position. When it comes to trade, Chair, page 66, there's trade opportunities, according to the report, arising out of non-preferential trade arrangement offered by the People's Republic of China, PRC. This fella, me not thinking good something, man, in terms of non-preferential arrangement here. Meetings at LDC is all about preferential treatment. Is this really the wording for agreement? It's non-preferential. I'm just something you don't like him. Why does it have to be non-preferential? I think it's supposed to be preferential, non-near him. Because otherwise, what's the meaning of non-preferential compared to the MFN or the most favored nations rule here? Where, what you offer him one money, same money you offer him every other members of WTO. So when it's non-preferential, is that the right wording? Non-preferential? I would have thought we should be signing preferential so that we have access with our status and perhaps tariff law there, but not charging. I think something like EBA, Law Europea, Chair, as you know, there's everything but arms, where the putum LDCs, where embara tariff free. So maybe that is, and that is a preferential treatment of LDCs. Yeah, it's not a non-preferential, but in support. So I don't know whether that's the actual name of the treaty or just ask him, no, my minister, or this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, member for East Area, for East Malita for the question. Yes, I'm true. It's just a wording, non-professional. Minimum non-reciprocal trade obligations, meaning no really obliged for trade with goods that we send go. So it's a no reciprocal trade obligations from China. But yes, going into the graduation for LDC, we are working on a trade framework with him with a group level of PRC. so that we, going into 3 years after graduation, we will still enjoy the no reciprocal trade obligation for the next 3 years after graduation, so that you may build up a capacity, believe me, and human resources, believe me, and then from there, we'll see how it goes after 3 years after graduation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable MP for Small Malaita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Me want to serve from the minister if he could bring him come an update Lord reports where he outlined along pages 69 go Kasim when I go Kasim page 73 I think, no 74. There's a number of trade agreements and arrangements and also where committee have asked for him, and there's a brief update in that report there. But what I'm looking for is, Mr. Chairman, how now you benefit, or what have we benefited out of these trade agreements since you sign them here, or since you become part of them? If the minister himself take him come with report here, come law house, me discussing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Member, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Chair, and thank you, Small Malaita MP. This one is a good question because Minister too, but like Sabe, a lot of trade agreements here. So now we are head start going into it, getting this international cooperation unit, and we've recruited this young lawyer, or the lawyers blame me for what doing with the facilitation of the agreements here. And then maybe I think the first work that I'm doing is to come up with a report listing on every agreement and MOUs and conventions and treaties, and then where now we stand in terms of the beneficial of it, the success of it, or the failure and the challenges that we have going into this MOUs and treaties and conventions. But it's a good suggestion, sir. The ministry has gone ahead and immediate start law recruitment now. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you, Chair. So I think back to the non-preferential, really the word should be non-reciprocal. I think it was just a typo here, but here, thank you, now, Chair, because non-preferential agreement was in bara opposite lo what you like him, no, for going at law market law China. So yeah, for that one, I think we all know law WTO. There's provisions already in there as WTO members that are given for LDCs. LDCs are exempted from the reciprocal system inside law WTO trading. Yeah, price you give no money, same price you must give not money. Kind of same tariff you must apply. Except this time, I think Donald Trump himself for go opposite now law, multilateral systems here. But there's exemptions there already for LDCs inside law WTO already, black and white in that for the WTO process that they've recognized LDC status already in terms of particularly law, this is non-reciprocal. So I think I'm good for Sabe. What now really agreement about more? Like it might be quite specific for you, me, that grants us particularly special access more law markets, law China. And I think this one goes into my next question now, Chairman, in that on page 67, Committee Law, Foreign Relations Committee, the need for more interaction in terms of what we're doing, so that what the kind something also what spelling errors no kakam inside law reports blame you more what the kind of same might look small but in big meaning there are other treaties, conventions that Solomon Islands enters into. These are areas where we know for sure part law executive, but I think it's good that good practice that Parliament through the Committee, Law Foreign Relations, also be involved in those processes moving forward, of course, including too the appointment of ambassadors and high commissioners. These are black and white inside NALO in terms of reference Law Committee. Of course, the final say is always the executive. But I think the process, I think it helps all of us understand the process, and we don't get too much questions when things come through the parliamentary processes. Then there's not this questions that might linger from Parliament about why now government decide on certain things and then allow perhaps Parliament to understand processes and thinking and rationale behind certain decisions that government are making. So I think the idea of moving forward, Numa, Chair, that we ensure that there continues to be engagement between Foreign Relations Committee and your good ministry. Some of that can be done under secrecy too, if you want, so that things are kept very, very sensitive. Doesn't have to be open kind of thing, but at least the committee is aware of what now thinking. We might have recommendations, but it's only recommendations. In the end, it's a decision by the executive, very much on how we do things. Ratification, for example, is still with the of treaties are still with the government and the executive. Cabinet nomo ifalamit lohem, and that's fine. That's all fine. But the idea is perhaps moving forward, we might start to look at ratification coming back to Parliament as other democracies are already doing. These are things that government of the day can think about in terms of policy decisions. But that is just a comment that I would like to make, Noma. We have been sending some of the letters, but letters say, also, we will have to send another letter for ask more. Go, no anything can come back now. Go, we will say, hey, I think committee will we don't think strongly at the moment. Kind of sense. So I think it's just a matter of our two institutions, legislature and the executive, continuing to be open in terms of communications, particularly with the Foreign Relations Committee, very much mirror Noma, what executive is doing. Of course, there's some reforms that are coming up that we're looking to perhaps expand a bit and perhaps allow the committee to be more involved with the outcomes. But I think when it comes to international treaties and conventions, there's always some financial implications attached, budgetary implications too attached to some of the treaties that we sign up to that would have to come back here again in Parliament. So I think it's so natural, Noma, that we are already versed in terms of what we are getting ourselves into in terms of our obligations and such. So that's just a comment, Noma. I'm not expecting the Minister to reply, but of course I'm free for reply. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable MP for East Are. Honourable Minister.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Member for East Are. I think in going forward, I think good the two arms of government, legislation and executive, we work together. Because after all, like was a budget, we work together for passing. So in going forward, I think we'll try and engage with the Foreign Relations Committee as much as possible in some of the work that the ministry is doing, so that we are of the same view or any other second view or second opinion more. So we come so that we say make them go to other treaties or conventions that believe me. I think one for a good one in going to the UNGA, we'll probably, with the indulgence of the Prime Minister, we get him a group blaming law, the foreign relations for travel too, so that it's a little bit how he may not. The member have already served. He was there already, but in terms of doing what side events, look at what the treaties are there. Very important for immigrant engagement with him legislation going forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Chairman. Very briefly, just to supplement what the Minister of Foreign Affairs said, and the need for some collaboration, some dialogue, some engagement between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Parliamentary Foreign Relations Committee. That's a good idea, and one that has been raised a number of times. That's fine. Gogolo UNJ, depending on funding considerations. Of course, Chairman of the House Committee, but I'm not qualified for come. But in terms of the idea of treaties, as MP for East Ararat Talem, and as we know, ratification and before custom this time and come through cabinet and cabinet recommendation and ratify. There are in other jurisdictions, including in Papua New Guinea, I think, Parliament must debating before ratification and done. So these are developments, these are processes that we can look into going forward, because I think some of these treaty arrangements or treaties, the implications could be good for a broader audience, and that means Parliament for Lulukulohem, as opposed to restricting the cabinet number, as it is in the current system. So thank you for those ideas, those proposals going forward. Chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and MP for Israel will look into those close collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and External Trade.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister. Honourable Leader of Opposition.
Yeah, thank you. On that collaborative note now, I'm good for him to collaborate for him. Go on Usmania, I must go Sabbath. So I'm good for him to finish now, but before he finish, labor mobility. Meeting him on East Timor and you me or get participating Pacific Island participating countries here, make it a policy initiative on our part to coordinate them to come together. Then you will agree something for go negotiating with them Australia. We have some bargaining power in this thing. They need us as much as we also need them for foreign receipts and employment for people, so that maybe or no deduct them airfare too. No deduct them remittance fees should be nil, visa or something here. The Australian economy is benefiting 2 billion Australian a year. Time you add in East Timor and you, me, every Pacific country, I would estimate everyone benefit total 2 billion Solomon, because you may get them 500 million a year, low of foreign receipts coming in. And if you times by 5 by me, and come to 2 billion Solomon. So they're getting 6 times more than what we're getting out of this palm scheme. So we have some agency in this matter. Put it to get to them, hey, this one borrow unfair trade here. Even if we pay him fair and no visa, everything I would provide him, but you may not equate him this whole trade it here. So go him cause of look a little bit exploitation to him. Time you look him how much they're benefiting from it and how much what participate countries are benefiting. We need it for our people, even though less learn. But at the same time, we want it to be fair. So, or deduction enough, we will negotiate him. If you do him level, maybe we're not powerful enough. But if we do it as a group, then they will pay attention. I'm no me like finish go Sabbath.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Leader for Opposition. I think in just going forward, in the recent firstly law exploitation, I think we have made arrangement. So rights block the workers are fully covered by the Australian government. So now we got to make a good deal with him, that one, in terms of what the rights law or what the workers blaming. So that one is fully covered by the Australian government. We also have recently a meeting that the document and tell them that there will be a quarterly report, look at a plan report, and look at the officials, what the employers and government for getting a quarterly report on how well the LMU is working. Just recently, Numa, to help with the LMU, there's an office in somewhere. You go Kasem somewhere? Yeah, you look in office there, the PPIU. I mean, PPIU. Sorry, PPIU is the PESA Plus implementation unit. Something. So the last PESA Plus meeting, as chairman, as your chairman in the PESA Plus, Solomon Islands, and the Australian Vice Minister for Pacific Affairs and the New Zealand Trade Minister, before signing a new contract, not new contract, a new development and economic cooperation arrangement. This is AUD 23.2 million, and New Zealand 10 million for supporting this one PPIU here, the PESA Plus implementation unit, lo Samoa. So this is a 5-year cycle. So this one I'm helping now for deal with him with the labor mobility. Timor-Leste, so we have a bargaining power, yes, as you said. The only issue, Fiji and Papua New Guinea, they are not members of PESA Plus. And I'm giving a concern law because what about benefit law LMU? That is not fair for the small island countries like Nauru and Okata. But that is something that we will have to deal with going forward in trying to ensure that Papua New Guinea and Fiji be members of the PESA Plus, so that we fully enjoy the benefit there, and not this kind of benefit, but not a member of the PESA Plus. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Or supplement to what you raised. So I'll give it the Honourable Leader first, and I'll come back to you.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Chairman. Yes, so just the follow-up on that is, I don't think we wait for Fiji and New Guinea for joining PESA Plus. They may never join it. So, but the group of participating countries plus Timor-Leste can still be dealing with these issues as participating countries in PALM, so that you may address him, negotiate a little bit with him some bargaining heft for addressing more issues for deductions and good now the rights are better recognized, are clearer and so forth. But our deductions and we were concerned accommodation, and the big issue of this whole report, where small Malay, member of small Malay fellow here, is this inflexibility. When you go to that employer, you cannot move. You move, you terminate, visa blue, out, you illegal alien more now. So that has to be addressed. There ought to be some flexibility so they're able to move between employers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honourable Leader. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Chairman, thank you, Leader. This year alone, I think we are trying to deal with all this issue. And for some, the result that we deal with in this issue, we have a growing number of employers blaming there. So as of last October, we have 5,446 people in Australia alone. And also New Zealand, we got 622 workers blaming there. So in some the concerns that we have, and we try to address them about the issue that has been raised by Small Malaita, MP for Small Malaita. So as of October, we got a larger number of people in Australia, the workers blaming, and 622 New Zealand. We also have some aged care workers blaming too, and 67 in Australia alone. And we also have some nurses blaming, health sector, as we tell them, Vanuatu, Niue, and Tuvalu like them too, and also Cook Islands. So we are working with my colleague, the foreign ministers of Cook and Tuvalu, for socializing and get them agreements in place, MOU, that team send them workers blaming. In going forward, sir, I think this is our strength, the health sector. I mean, as we tell them, getting with a nurse blaming, training with a nurse blaming, and then they are not exporting, but sending water for in terms of labor mobility with other countries. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Chairman, PAC.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, this PESA Plus, I think the plus part where labor mobility got hooked in, and I think that's a very good one. because time him patient no more meaningless for you may every country law region. It's good that this plus concept him come in charge where the labor market am included, and it featured in the first stage of this program here. Because as you know, one of the things that may build him up a very strong economy in the European project now is labor mobility. Labor mobility, I must say. Labor and mobile, the remittance economy is the one that aim grow, I must say. So, Minister, me like you for no stop normal or what now you doing. Let us strengthen that whole arrangement on the remittance economy. And you started to see that because the transfers that are now made a little bit affordable for the people below me. Or now at this time we move away from the global, international financial transfer schemes here, like one in the Western Union and over there. Now they're using MCLN below me. And that is a welcome one, I must say. So our citizens that are providing that very essential labor services law, Australia and New Zealand can make sure New Zealand come inside too, I must say. So that our people can receive them at a much cheaper rate, low transfer, lower the financial benefits, back into our country, I must say. But I think the most important part is the recording of it now in child long our foreign reserve country blue me, because when it get transferred lower the money selling blue me and go straight into the pocket blow the people blue me too, I must say, because of how he transfers go along a point of sales where you order go take them out, I must say. So that part of law recording, I think you may need for a little bit work Lohem. Another question that me like for ask him no more, Minister Lohem, no more, this the G7 plus, the fragile state, which I think next year or this year we have now assumed the chairmanship of the G7 plus. As you know, Minister, me part of that discussion passed how many years ago. So where are we in this? Are we continue to be regarded as a fragile state in the whole conversation of G7 plus? How much influence and impact it has, the kind of conversation that we have in the UN sphere, I must say. What lessons that you may bring in along the space here? And so forth. What now? What's your reaction to that? But I think you should continue. You should continue. Lord G7 plus realm, because we've got a lot to share with the other countries that are post-conflict countries too. I must. But in your conversation, what do you think about country Blue Solomon Islands? Are we still a fragile state, or you mean a little bit move up a little bit for strengthening now our position Blue in our standing global community? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, MP for Central Honiara. Yes, I'm thinking of the records law, their law, Secretariat law at Delhi. We have voted in law. The last meeting we had in Delhi, the three countries, Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, and Solomon Islands, we stood, and the 20 countries that are voting maybe for chair meeting. Our tenure starts 1st of January 2026, focusing 30th December 2027. Now, with the Secretary General, we are putting together a strategic plan for how to move forward. And we would like to change the narrative, fragile state, into countries with prospects, countries with resources, even countries with resources. Yeah. Little things that we may go through here, it becomes our history. We must not let it be something that we carry on the backside playing, but let us learn from it, experience from it. The other thing that we like for bringing the G7 Plus is the dialogue partners blaming. At the moment, not too much dialogue partners here. So we like for bringing the dialogue partners because the 20 fragiles of 20 countries under the G Plus here, we have the same issue. We depend on aids and grants and also donor friends blaming. So we bring these people in so that they become part of the conversation and they become part of the strategy plan that I'm meeting as chairman going forward. And same too for OACP. OACP even chair this time. So meeting next week, following week, we're going to chair the Council of Ministers. And again, OACP is going really down. We need to strategize again. Again, with the Secretary General, to come up with him with a strategy plan and invite him what the countries for come. The big ones like Nigeria, very powerful in Africa, to be part of the OACP again. But even need for giving confidence and faith. Look at the countries that the OACP is there to benefit them and not only to represent them, European, EU. So these are some of the strategies that are together with the G7 Plus Secretary and the OACP Secretary before putting together and bringing with the donor partners and dialogue partners to be part of the conversation to our organization. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Arare.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I think good questions here in terms of the policy, how now Bayu may become unfragile in the future. Bayu may graduate from LDC, how now Bayu may graduate from this one. I think no any process no more, any write letter no more, you write letter no, so we all out now. We all strong no more, man. I mean, if you look at the 20 countries that you mean inside law, this for the G7 Plus, yeah, I think you'll find that they are really some really tough cases of countries that are facing a lot of challenges, much more than us. I think if they came here, they'll be like, you guys have it good. You guys are not too fragile here. I mean, if compared to what they're undergoing now. So I think there's a good issue in policy of how long we are going to be part of this group until we feel ourselves to say, hey, all right, we'll support you in spirit, but we fall out from group, kind of thing. I think with OACP, the same thing there. I think there's also a big struggle there at the moment. But when you look at it, as you know, Chair, it's the subscriptions. I mean, many of our members don't even pay subscriptions no more. So at the least, time come yearly, you look, but everyone read no more, no one pay no more, and they're waiting on European Union to foot the bill. So I think in the end, ownership becomes an issue. It seems to be that OACP is not taking ownership of that particular organization, but yeah, it's going through a hard time at the moment. So I wish you all the best, Minister, as you go and chair a ministerial meeting. OACP, they are really struggling. The Secretariat is in a big mess, as you know. So I think wisdom blue about needing it in terms of there. But how I see it, it's just a lot of the membership don't pay up their subscription. Yeah, I'm also paying no more, so and become a big issue to that particular organization. If I move on to Migolo Edna, Chair?
Yes, please.
74 now. Yeah. And in page 74 now, MD's Barra clear now there that what I was raising earlier is really clear here. So we're talking about non-reciprocal trade arrangements. So here now, actually, I think if we read him here, but I mean, no raising question, it was a typo. But I think over here it's very clear that we're talking about non-reciprocal trade arrangement, which is something we need. But of course, as members of WTO, both China and Solomon Islands are already, and we are LDCs, we're already doing this. But I think they seem to be wanting to do it more clearly. So now it's clear. So here are some of the aquatic products that are apparently in the non-reciprocal trade arrangement. And having a read through there, something I fried to came too, man. But sea worm lo there more that one me baras. I think he export them that one go no. But I think you might get into issues, and here is a policy question I want to ask about aquatic products like shark fin. So as you know, Chair, shark fin is under the CITES Convention. And I think the appendices or the appendixes that are behind this convention, they list here. Appendix 1, embara ban na. Whatever is listed under there, you cannot trade now, tambu now. Appendix 2, if you manage it properly, based on scientific. Yeah, so you have more, based on the species here, as you know. So shark fin here, yeah, maybe there need to be more detail here in terms of what species are we talking about. I know hammerhead, for example, and barabane. That one, if you out them come fin blem, or you send them go aeroplane, not arresting you same time. Kind of. So I think these kinds of things, in terms of policy direction, we might need to be very careful because we are already obliged by other international conventions that tie into trade in endangered species. And sharks, many of them I think would be in Appendix 1. I think there's 7 or 8 last time that are always there. There's others that are a little bit more, Appendix number 2. But these are issues that I think the good minister will work around in terms of which shark. No, but so I'm sure it's for shark fin soup. So these are issues of policy, but more than policy, I think this particular case is one of international agreements, a treaty, a convention that I know Solomon Islands is a party to, as well as China. So I think you will be caught up in that. But I think it's more than policy now. I think it's about legal obligations. And I know that your good office and Aguatal officials will be working together to see which ones now you miss our export them without getting caught up in our other international legal obligations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member for East Are. Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, MP for East Are. I think Solomon Islands will always adhere to international law. What the things that make us caught into a trap, even though deal into it and you stay out of it. But yes, trade agreements. We have EU trade agreements, believe me, again and free too. The UK trade agreements, believe me, and free. Australia and New Zealand, we had this trade and economic cooperation agreement that we signed, allow what export products, believe me, for go to Australia and New Zealand, duty free, yeah, 100% duty free basis now. So 100% product coverage now. So those are important trade that the IMIS are going to. It's the onus is now on the people, believe me now. Or the cocoa bean farmers, or the coffee farmers, or all the other farmers, seaweed too, and what the. So yes, Speaker, Mr. Chairman, Solomon Islands will abide by international law so that you don't fall into a trap and caught into a trap like what the things that we do with other countries and other partners. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable MP for East Are.
Thank you very much. My last and final one, Chair. Thank you for indulgence and thank you for that assurance from the Minister for you may stick with them obligations, believe me, in terms of international obligations that we've signed up to. On the trip to General Assembly, Prime Minister, I really appreciate the practice of taking some of our backbenchers. Go with them, you go. I think that's a very great idea. But what the backbenchers, hello government no now. I think I'm good for Lulu Kamlo. Some of our committee blomia, where what like go. Manelo committee blomia, but them go all the finish now before. So I think I'm like go back more. But the idea that you have been doing in terms of bringing some new MPs to expose the craziness or the excitement that is General Assembly, I think that is something that me very much appreciating. So we'll follow this fella suggestion by your minister. A nice suggestion here. I think one fella or two fella from committee, Mr. Finding a good man for go kind of thing. People who have never been, I think that's the best experience for them to go and be exposed there. When it comes to the trade part more now, I think I wanted we're talking about shark fins layer. And just to wrap it up with the Bina. So the Bina, we're talking about cannery and fish and all of that, but I think the policy might already be in place because we might even be caught up here in terms of international trade. I heard in some of our discussions that by import come from Kiribati, some of our fish, rules of origin. So when the product is something coming from another jurisdiction, we get caught up in rules of origin kind of rules. So these are issues that I'm sure, Ginat, you're thinking about already in terms of a cannery. Cannery for local food security or for by-export. So these are issues that we have to be mindful of. I think with the European, the EPA has allowed for us to do that. So for that particular market, we know we can access. But for another ones more now, we'll have to negotiate more, I think. But I think with the EPA, even with our graduation from LDC status, it allows us to even go beyond our 12 miles. Because in Misawa, territory below Oceans Blue is only the 12 mile. Anything beyond that, even 200, we only have sovereign rights. We don't have sovereignty on those. Of course, high seas, different case altogether more. And then if Kiribati more come more, PNG more catch fish come more here, we are caught up in rules of origin with trade rules. So I think those things, I think you are all already aware. Because time you talk about cannery, you must already say, this one for you make here no more, by me export them or how. And it's going to impact, of course, in terms of where now these produce will be coming from. These are some of the intricacies no more that I'm sure you're all aware of already in terms of planning for Bina. No good thing kakasimlo imi kota molo, this kind of type of technical legal rules. But thank you very much, Mr. Chair, for indulging me in my questions and comments on this particular head. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Minister, before I do
Thank you very much, Speaker, Chair, and thank you, MP, for STRRA for this one. I think, as I said, maybe look how we are engaged together, working together, the two arms of government, legislation and executive, so that we bring fruition to some of the things that we go to look on the signing. We call UNJ and maybe Tambolo. Geneva for what other conventions of other meetings of Geneva. It would be good to have some of our foreign relations committee of the country involved too. But Golo UNJ, PM9 in Boston, Golo Geneva, we will, as I said, we look how we engage together. I think so much to do with him, Selen for fun and airfare for Gogo. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honourable Prime Minister.
Just a final comment before we take a vote on the head. Thank you. Just to supplement what the Foreign Minister has just alluded to. Yes, with regards to Bina, it's a tuna cannery, so we'll be processing tuna, not shark fin or any other fish or same. So it's a tuna cannery, and it will be bought for domestic consumption in terms of cane tuna, somewhat happen on Oromo, and then of course export, including low tuna, low in source. Discussions have already started, as we've heard from the Minister of Fisheries during his debate with Kiribati and Tuvalu in terms of supply of tuna to the Bina Harbour. And of course, I'm sure our trade people and our fisheries people, they're well aware of the rules of origin in terms of our exports to the European market or even to the UK market under the SI UK IPA, and of course exploring other markets as well. With regards to delegations traveling abroad, it's not new. Other governments are doing that practice, members of the opposition at the joining government delegations also. So we'll look into that, for subject normal law financing also. But that exposure is important for all of us in terms of what's happening out there, whether it's at the UN or EU or even within the region. A lot of meetings in the region also. So long time it take 1 or 2 from the other side, if all know, JJLS or same, but no, it's for a good cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Prime Minister. And I think with that final comment, I will now put the question. The question is that the sum of $56,595,468 for head 07 stands part of the schedule. All those in favor, say aye. Those against, say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The sum of $56,595,468 for head 05 now stands part of the schedule. Honourable members, I think we have covered enough in this sitting, and the proceedings of this committee is now interrupted and will resume at the appropriate time on the next sitting day. Thank you. Parliament is resumed. And honourable members, in accordance with the earlier resolution of the House and pursuant to Standing Order 10.5, Parliament is now adjourned until 9:30 a.m. on Monday, 8th December 2025.